In 1937, Cortland Gilbert, the editor of the Fulton County Review, printed at 3421 Dogwood Drive, introduced an unusual promotional idea that, for a brief moment, placed Hapeville squarely in the national spotlight: the Worry Rock. The History of Hapeville, by Ed Milton, 1991, claims the idea for the Worry Rock came from Brown Tyler, the owner of the Fulton County Review. Whether the idea originated with Tyler or Gilbert, Cortland Gilbert took the idea and ran with it. It can be assumed that Gilbert's connections as a newspaper editor and prominent Atlanta businessman played an important role in the widespread publicity this story received. There are conflicting accounts as to where the 6-foot by 3-foot granite slab came from. Ed Milton's The History of Hapeville, Georgia indicates that the rock came from a quarry on Sylvan Road, obtained through the hard labor of convicts from the South Convict Camp on Cleveland Avenue. In the earliest discovered newspaper article to reference the Worry Rock, however, Cortland Gilbert himself revealed that the rock was intended to be had from the city's 35-acre park. This seems to be a reference to Master Park. At the time, there was a quarry located within the park where the soccer field is today, and it's likely the rock was sourced from there. Wherever the granite slab with a white quartz vein running through it actually came from, we can narrow down the time of its placement outside the train station to somewhere between December 14th and December 31st, 1937. The location chosen for the Worry Rock was ideal. Gilbert explained that motorists heading south on Route 46, as well as train passengers, can enjoy the privileges of the rock. And although still in its infancy, he foreshadowed the airport's inextricable link to Hapeville when he added, "Folks who come and go by air will see it also." With a little help from Cortland Gilbert, even Hollywood caught wind of the Hapeville Worry Rock. In the last week of December 1937, Gilbert wrote a letter to one of the biggest movie stars of the day, Joan Blondell, inviting her to visit Hapeville for the official dedication of the rock. Not surprisingly, Joan couldn't make it. She did, however, send a letter in response, in which she wrote, "To me, a rock seems to be ideal. That's the way with a worrying rock. Hard to take, but good for you." Even without Joan Blondell in attendance, the Worry Rock was ceremoniously dedicated on January 1st, 1938. Mayor Cathy and Governor Rivers posed upon the rock in a photo that, throughout the first 2 weeks of January 1938, scores of national newspapers published in their dailies. A second story about the new Worry Rock went out over the wire that first week as well. The story told the tale of Lamar Couch, a local drunk who, on New Year's Eve, was detained for public drunkenness. Conveniently, Lamar's crime occurred simultaneously with the dedication of the Worry Rock. Hapeville Town Clerk C. McNeil Leach, most likely in league with publicity hound Cortland Gilbert, recognized this as an opportunity to capitalize upon the story of the newly dedicated Worry Rock. Leach gave Lamar the choice to pay a $10 fine for his bad behavior or spend 2 hours penance upon the Worry Rock. Lamar chose the rock. Leach's terms for the punishment were specific. He demanded that Lamar sit upon the rock without a pillow for the entire first hour. On Tuesday, January 4th, 1938, from 2 p.m. until 4 p.m., Lamar Couch served his sentence. Lamar placed his own hat upon the ground to collect donations from sympathetic passersby. He collected $15.62, which in today's money equals $275. Another interesting storyline involving the Worry Rock highlights a picturesque local man by the name of Bill Ward. Inspired perhaps by Lamar Couch's financial gain while seated upon the rock, Mr. Ward, a Hapeville painter and carpenter, declared himself the unofficial worrier and assumed the task of sitting upon the rock to worry on behalf of others. In the days after the story ran of Worrier Ward's self-appointment, a deluge of letters addressed to the Worry editor flooded in from readers. The letters were forwarded to Bill, and he'd sit upon the Worry Rock to personally lament over each request. One such letter came from Billy Head, an 8-year-old from Carrollton. Billy wrote, "I'm worried over whether I'm going to be Buck Jones II or not. My mother says I'm too young to be worrying, so please worry and let me know how I stand." Another letter signed by FEM stated, "Contract bridge is my worry. I have to play every Wednesday night, and it's a source of worry to me as well as the people I play with. I will be grateful if you will sit on the rock for me." Throughout the first week of the Worry Rock service, it seems that Cortland and his review worked hard to keep stories about the rock front and center in the pages of the Atlanta Constitution and beyond. Just days after the Worry Rock was dedicated, Willie, a commercial airline pilot from College Park, was taking a walk through Hapeville with his dog, Sheltie. As they passed the newly placed Worry Rock, Sheltie hopped upon it and promptly assumed a worried expression. Willie snapped a photo of Sheltie upon the rock and sent the photo to the Constitution, along with a playful claim that Sheltie preceded Worrier Ward by several days as the official worrier. Another challenge came from Hapeville teenagers keen on the Big Apple, a wildly popular dance craze of the day. A photo appeared on January 11th, 1938, showing Marcia Yarder and E.A. Long atop the Worry Rock, executing a move from the Big Apple. "Just sitting on the rock is no way to get rid of your worries," they're quoted as saying to Worrier Ward. "The best way to get rid of worries is to Big Apple them away." And a final challenge came from a group of young men who showed up to the rock to apply for the position of assistant worrier. A staged photograph shows Ward atop the rock, arms outstretched as he shoves away the crowd of boys. "Now listen here, boys," Ward declared. "I can handle this job and I'm a good enough worrier for you all. I said I would do all the worrying and I will carry out my agreement." Only a month later, however, a follow-up story appeared in newspapers around the country announcing that Bill Ward had abandoned his post. A direct quote from Bill suggests a likely reason for his departure was that his lofty expectations of fame and fortune were not met. The Worry Rock's popularity lasted up until and throughout the war years when, with sons, husbands, fathers, and loved ones overseas fighting the Axis powers, the rock offered solace to many heavy hearts. By September of 1946, the Constitution pointed out that the Worry Rock was a lonely spot these days. Hapeville was experiencing its greatest period of growth and prosperity, and worries were few. The Ford motor plant was coming to town. The city was in the middle of a housing boom. The Worry Rock's 15 minutes of fame were over, encapsulated within that first flash-in-the-pan year from 1937 to 1938 when Cortland Gilbert had so diligently promoted it. A long-standing controversy about the rock was laid to rest by veteran Hapeville High School English teacher Melvina Wells. From the beginning, locals debated its proper name. Should it be referred to as the Worrying Rock or the Worry Rock? In 1980, at the official dedication of the newly created Depot Museum, Miss Wells spoke about the rock and answered the question once and for all, and the solution was purely grammatical. "You'll notice in the program that the rock is called the Worrying Rock," Melvina said to the dedication day crowd. "Now that just can't be. The rock isn't worrying about anything. It is just a place to worry. The rock is called the Worry Rock, and that is its correct name." Today, the Worry Rock may not captivate hearts and minds as it did in 1938, but there's no question that it's a worthy pursuit to preserve the history of the local landmark that was placed in the center of town more than 8 decades ago.